Hey everyone, like you just got in the middle of my yawn and I have like something super cool. I didn't even tell Cillesha this. So this was the first day since I got hurt, which I got hurt on December the 30th, that and maybe this is TMI. The first time I was able to stand up from the potty without like pull on something, or I learned to kind of like push like that with my one hand, and I did it today. So I guess we can be happy for the little things in life, right? Like I got off the potty by myself. Yay. That's not what anyone expected when they saw the title of confidence. So Dr. Cillesha, thanks for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So let's just let everyone in on how do we come about? So you joined the boot camp as a student at Sherman College of Chiropractic, and walk everyone through like what was that like being a student and being in the boot camp, and then what transpired your 4-year preceptor, and now what are you doing?
Cool. So last year in February, I went to the pizza party for the pizza boot camp when Dr. Barb was here. And she just really like resonated with me when she gave her big talk. And I just like felt this huge pull to like go and talk to her privately. And I booked a call with her and I just joined the boot camp. And it's honestly been like super transformational for my whole life. Like, not even like thinking business aspect, like just my mindset in general has opened me up to so many new things, and just like how I think about everything in this world, and just like how I look at like business and just absolutely everything, right?
Mm.
And like even as a student, it just truly like transformed like how I was in school and like how I looked at school. And even now, like being in like the doctor's shoes, and like stepping away from school and like learning how to do that. Like if I did not have the boot camp, and if I did not have like this month, like all these months of just like studying like the mindset and like really working on myself, I don't think I would be where I'm at without it.
And where are you at with it?
So I actually like life is crazy. You plan it, and then like God is like, hey, no. So I was gonna open up my own practice back in Kentucky, and it just was not like working out. And I had done my PMOE in Dr. Kane and Anthony's office, and I ended up staying there. So like I'm working with them, and I'm helping them grow the office. And I just stepped in 2 weeks ago, like with my license, and I've been taking care of patients. And this week I did my very first day 2,
Yay.
which was it was an event, but I did it. And like honestly, if I did not have the like I said, the mindset training and like all the stuff that comes along with the boot camp, and like working on yourself and working on just like how you think things, and like how thinking creates your reality and all that awesome stuff, I would not have what confidence I do have in order to do that.
Um, and congratulations to you. You know, I think it's really easy when we're students or we're just starting out to know that our thinking creates our reality. Like that's not new news to anyone, but actually putting it into practice as well. I think it's really easy when it comes to our thinking and our mindset to be like, I'll deal with that later. Like right now, I have to figure out how am I going to process a new practice number? Like, what am I going to do for marking? And we get
Mm.
up in all of this thinking, and we swirl around, and we start, um, chasing stars all over the place instead of being able to just settle in our thinking and know like, okay, I'll figure these things out. And being in the boot camp, like I have lots of people I can reach out to, and really just coming in and settling. And that's what I saw that you did when you were considering like going on your own, and there was this great place and then there was this place, and yet at the end of the day neither one of them were the ideal fit for you. So can you describe like what was that settling that you felt to go, not that, this?
That's a really good question. So, you just kind of like really come in tune with like your vibration and like honestly what is right and what is wrong. And even though you're working so hard to get everything lined up and try to figure everything out, like honestly, deep down, you just like still know that you're not doing the completely right thing. And just because, like, I want my own practice maybe one day, who knows? Like, honestly, like at this point in my life, I'm just like, you literally never know what's going to happen. Like, you just kind of got to go with the whatever's thrown at you. But I have been like super blessed with what I have been like has been presented with me, and like what is serving you right now in this moment doesn't mean it may serve you 3 years down the road. It doesn't even mean it may serve you 6 months down the road, So like you just kind of like got to take it and embrace it and like and do what you have and just like do it confidently, and just like take it and run with it.
I love that. And it's the idea that life is fluid, it's not concrete.
Mm-hmm.
And if it was the same thing over and over and over and over and over again, none of us would like that. You've probably heard me say in the boot camp, it's come to my awareness that there's a big fat lie we all keep perpetuating. And I'm going to do whatever I can to stop this insanity of this. That people say, well, I'm just afraid of the future.
Yeah.
No, we're not. But like and if we just stop for a second and stop and really look at like what are we saying there? Because I'm going to ask Cillesha, and I'm asking all of you. This is kind of like a real life coaching session here. Of tell me, how many times have you lived a minute before you are?
Never.
Not one time, right? And I haven't either. And no one that's lived on the planet has except Jesus. And he like it knew the beginning of the world before it started. So he doesn't really count. So the rest of us mortals, none of us have lived even a minute before right now. So this idea and really this lie and this excuse, and you're not a bad person if you've said it. I'm just inviting you to surrender to truth. And the truth is we've never lived a minute before right now. So how in the world could we be afraid of it? It's what we've always done. Even when we were babies, we weren't afraid of the future because we didn't know. And so we start then throughout life adding on all of this stuff into our personal thought matrix, and we forget we're this diamond underneath. Right. And then we add in these things of like, and this is going to make some of you mad, and that's okay. I'm this Enneagram, and I'm this kind of person, and I'm that kind of person. All you're describing is your personal thought matrix. You are not describing who you are at the core. Because really and truly, as human beings, we have two fears: the fear of falling and the fear of loud noises. If there were really a lot of other fears that were born into us as innate intelligence, we would have them at birth. And I trust me, we would check them at birth. But the APGAR, loud noises and falling. We're not asking babies about the future. We're not asking them about being, are you afraid of stepping out of your comfort zone? None of us ever were until we learned it. And I'm not saying that there isn't such a thing as PTSD. No, those words didn't come out of my mouth. So if somebody is listening and you just filled that in, I didn't say that. I want to offer this lens, though, is that as chiropractors, we know the nerve system is neuroplastic. So whatever happened in the past, traumas, whatever it was, remember who you are and that you have a nerve system that is neuroplastic, and it can change and it can heal. And who you are at the core is love and joy and peace. All of the other stuff we add on is just stuff. You've heard me say this many times, like my ideal weight, I'm 150 pounds, but I just have a lot of other stuff on top of it. But I'm already there, right? Like we're already confident. in truth, and I'm speaking to you right now, Cillesha, there's nothing you have to do to develop your confidence. There isn't. And you just prove to yourself what is necessary for you to know what to do in your life, and it's to surrender.
Mm-hmm.
Surrender to the calm, and the pathway ahead will be revealed. You know, my devotions this morning, it was talking about where God's like, I'm not showing you the whole path because I want you to trust me, to give me glory. I want you to praise me along the path. But the safest thing, regardless of what that path is right next to my side. So what are you noticing is different about your experience in these in your PMOE and now as an associate, that whether it's the students that you went to school with like immediately or other ones that you've known, like what's so different about your experience? And there's Kay. Hey, Kay.
So, I mean, honestly, I don't know of many people in my class that I've graduated with that's like even got to start working yet. So like that's something like super awesome. Like I am killing it, right now. Like I get to be in an office and like I'm taking care of patients and I'm getting to see them and stuff. The biggest thing is like now when I'm like actually taking care of people and like their kids, like they look at me and like they see that I'm a doctor, but like I'm still like, holy crap, like I don't know, like I'm actually the doctor. They're asking me the questions and I have to like step up and like, be there and like answer their questions. And that's like the biggest thing that I have noticed like this week is like people's just been asking me questions and I'm like, oh, I get to answer that because I'm the doctor, So like that's just like kind of stepping into that.
And the best place in life to be is up against something that really matters to us and we don't know what to do.
Mm-hmm.
Like pour on the impossibility, because what happens is impossible. Like you go looking for answers. If you didn't know the answer to the question they ask you, you would ask Dr. K or Dr. Anthony or Dr. Josh or somebody in the boot camp. Like you wouldn't, because someone posed a question to you that you didn't know. It was an invitation to grow. And so often we see that when someone asks us something and we don't know, like, oh my gosh, I feel terrible. Like, no, that's the invitation to be like, come on, let's on, let's figure this out. And I'm glad that I learned early on in practice when someone asked me something I didn't know, I'd be like, you know what, that's a really awesome question. And what you can always know for me, I'm not going to guess about your health. It's too important. So if you give me the space, I have a community that I can ask of doctors who've been in practice for 10, 20, 30, 40 years. And so I'd like to ask them and get back with you. Is that okay? Like, what do you think your practice members are going to say?
Okay.
That's so cool. Yeah. Right. Like, and what you're doing there when you come to them with that too, is you're really and truly telling them your standard. I'm not going to guess about your healthcare. Your health is really important. We're a partner here, and I'm always going to tell you the truth. And I also have this other community that I can tap into on your behalf. Bring it on. So I'm glad that you talked, like we went into this realm of, I don't know.
Yeah.
Right. So it's the most incredible place to be. And I'm going to tell all of you the story of 17 camels. And this has become kind of Barb's rendition. So there was a king and he had 17 camels and he had 3 sons. And when, he was like getting older and he wanted to make sure that he spelled out how his sons would get his camels. So in his will, as it were, he left his oldest son with half of the camels, so half of 17 camels, his second son with a third, and his youngest son with a ninth. And he passed away. And so then his sons and all the mathematicians were trying to figure out, like, what do we do? Like 17 doesn't go in half. You can't take 17 and get a third. You can't take 17 and get a ninth. What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? And so they're asking all these mathematicians in the kingdom and all of these wise people, and no one has the answer. So finally they go to the wise woman. That's so all the women in the audience, just give me a little shout out there. Woo woo. At any rate, he goes to the wise woman and she listens to their stories. So key number one, listen, right? You know, there are 4 kinds of listening. There's distracted listening where I'm not even really here. I'm here in my presence, but I'm not really here. There's hard listening. And hard listening is what most of us do. If you interrupt, you're a hard listener. That you're only listening to come up with your rebuttal. You're not really listening. Then the third kind is purposeful listening. Like I'm listening, like, was that turn right or turn left? And then the fourth kind is quiet listening. And quiet listening is really when we just surrender and we hold space for somebody else, which to all of you, please develop that skill. And here's how you do it. Shut up. Like that's the skill, right? Just shut up and let them talk. You will learn a lot. And if we hold space, people will come to their own truth. All right, so they go to the wise woman, and this is why she was wise, because her first response was, I don't know how to handle this. And then she says, like, I don't really know what to do, but I can give you one of my camels. So then they had 18. So the first son got how many? Half. He gets 9. The second son gets a third, so he gets 6. And then the youngest son gets a 9th, so he gets 2. Well, 9 plus 6 plus 2 is 17. How beautiful. And they get the camel back. Right? So the moral of the story is if you're on the ground floor, you're going to see the same thing. Mm-hmm. But many times in our life, if we push the ground 50 and we come up here and see it from a totally different viewpoint and perspective, we get to see new possibilities. And it always starts with, I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but I have figured out a lot of things and I can figure this out too. Mm-hmm. So Cillesha, let's do a shout out to Dr. Kane and Anthony. Like, let's just pour on the praise. So from someone who's working with them every single day, what do you observe about this amazing couple?
Yeah. You know, they bring the absolute best energy. Like, I just feel so good. And like, they really do help me build up my confidence, like so much, you know, like I'm going to be like super open and honest here. Yesterday, after that day too, I just started crying because like, it was big, you know, and it was huge. Like I was super happy that I got to do it, but also at the same time, like it was really hard. And like Dr. K just took me in the back and talked to me and just like gave me the biggest hug, you know? And like, that is like the best thing I could ever have. And like guidance, you know, that's just what I need. And like Dr. Anthony, like he sat down with me the day before and like helped me like went through like the scans and like let me talk and like let him be the patient and like I got to be the doctor. And like he just like critiqued it and like helped me like be better at it, you know? Like honestly, like I don't know where I would be at if I didn't have them, because they are like making me into an amazing doctor and like building me up and like just giving me all the guidance and like nurturing that I need right now.
Yes. And, you know, that's one thing I love about boot camp offices. You know, when, and maybe this is a little fault of my own, but when I see docs hire associates and then they're in competition with them, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why would I hire you and then be upset when people want to be adjusted by you? You know, like when my practice members would come in and they'd be like, hey, can I be adjusted by Dr. James? I'm like, yes. That is like the best thing I've heard. Yes, go over there and he wants to care for you, right? Because if we bring on an associate and then it's like, well, I'm going to keep all of my little people and you figure it out on your own, that's not a partnership. And I love that Kane and Anthony have created such a beautiful family, mm-hmm. which includes their team. Mm-hmm. Very yes. Cool. So as we round this out, do a shout out to fellow Shermies and even those that you graduated with in terms of coming to be with us on Wednesday, February 23rd from 6 to 8 at the Boot Camp Lake House. I'm doing another pizza mixer. And really, here's why. I hear from doctors all of the time of, I just can't find anyone for, as a preceptor, like I really like to help and mentor students, or I can't find associates. So I hear that all the time, right? Then every year I hear from students like, I don't want to just be ridden hard and put away wet. Like I don't want to just be the person that comes in, and now that I'm there, the doctor leaves and I have no training, I have no mentoring. Like I want to be a part of a team. And so I'm like, all right, well, let's bring us together. And so the Wednesday Pizza Mixer is going to be students and doctors from all over coming together. Well, students are probably just going to be from Sherman, but
Yeah.
all over. We're coming together for the purpose of like, let's meet each other. Like you're a student now, but you're my colleague. Like it's my responsibility to help you so that you carry on the torch, so that you carry on this gift, this sacred trust that we've been given as chiropractors. So what can you share with them about boot camp events and when you came last year?
Yes. So all the Sherman students, like if you're watching this, please go, because I went last year and you get such valuable information. And it really honestly changed my life. And it put me in an amazing tribe with amazing people, with amazing resources. Like you don't want to miss it. It's completely free. Like, and you get free pizza. Like, come on. I know you all are students and you're starving. So like, go get some free pizza.
Yeah. And we just have fun. And I will be adding in the comment section how you can grab your seat. It is limited. We're having it at the beautiful Boot Camp Lake House. Is our third year. But space is limited. So you're going to want to make sure you grab a spot. And when you do, bring along your friends. It's a really great time. So Dr. Cillesha, I'm so proud of you. And thank you for joining me today. And thanks for allowing me to do kind of like a little bit of live coaching in front of an audience.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here.
Oh, there you are. And congratulations. Keep up the great work.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. I look forward to, there's Dr. Anthony saying, so proud of you, Cillesha. You're a rock star. Absolutely. Kane and Anthony, love you. Have a wonderful evening, all of you. And I'll see you back on Facebook tomorrow. Bye.